The bathroom, we had to clean the bathroom 3 times a day. That meant the sink, the tub, and the toilet, and sweep and mop the bathroom floor. Our mother didn't do any of the housework. We did all the housework. Our father would sit and hide pieces of paper, hide little pieces of things in places to make sure that we pulled things out and we swept or we cleaned or we whatever. If he found that piece of paper that we didn't move it out and clean it, then if it was in our bedroom, he would take and pull out our dressers, dump the clothes out. He would mess up the bed, and then we would have to redo everything. The only thing I can remember that was enjoyable was I was probably about 10 or 11. We would have to walk about 2 miles to go to a swimming pool. Then I would take my other sisters, which one would be probably 7 years younger than me, and then there was one about 9 years younger than me. And I remember she was only 2 years old, and I would walk her at 10, 11 years old, walk her, and we would go to the swimming pool, and we were told not to come home till a certain time.
When we would go to our grandmother's house, which was my father's mother, he would line us up, and from my oldest brother down to my youngest brother, there was all 5 of us. And he would line us up, and we would have to stand for a long time before he would say, you can sit down. And if we had to pee, he sometimes would let you go to the bathroom, sometimes you weren't allowed. So you'd have to hold it. And they would be in the kitchen, and they would be eating and talking and drinking, and we would have to sit in the front room sometimes 3 or 4 hours or more until they were ready to leave.
Did you get to eat?
No.
I remember him fixing dinner, and he had shredded it up and made cow tongue. And we had to eat it, and then we didn't know what it was until after we had ate it, and then he told us it was cow tongue just to see how we would react. And when I found out that it was cow tongue, I physically got sick. And then that's where, if you do, then you learn how not to get sick, because then you would have to re-eat the vomit.
I would escape outside, like in our backyard. I always liked to climb up on the tree, or we had these fences, these picket fences, but on top it was like about 2x4 that you, or a little bit bigger, that you could lay and just kind of look up at the sky. That was my peaceful time too, that I enjoyed, or even just being outdoors, away from them, you know.
At a certain age where I got to start to realize where other kids and other girls were doing things that were fun, and I would hear them say, we did this and this, and we got to go this place, I would wonder, why didn't we get to? We never got to leave our own yard. We never got to go do any fun things. And I remember, even if we were in a car to go somewhere, I would look out my window and I would see another little girl in a car driving by, and I would look and I would think, is things happening to her like that at home? Is this just me, or is everybody treated like this? As children, we were never allowed to go visit anyone. We were never allowed to have any children come to our house. We were never allowed to go to a kid's house. There was never a birthday party. Never went to a birthday party. Was never allowed to do anything such as Girl Scouts or anything. We were kept at home in the house, and our chores were to take care of the house. As I can remember, as I was able to clear the top of the stove, I was cooking for the whole family. I would have loved to have had someone who would have protected me. There was no one. Especially when the perpetrator is my dad, and while my mom allowed it and knew what was going on, I had no one. I mean, when things happen as a little kid, you think, oh, I'll run to my mom or dad, but who do you go to when they're the ones that are abusing you? There was no one. There was people in our family that knew things that was going on, but they never did anything to stop it. They never spoke about it. We never spoke about it, and it was just kept behind closed doors. when there would be times I would see a little girl and her parent would maybe be nice or sweet, or, a neighbor or child, and think how awesome would it have been to have someone who cared, or at least was even being nice to you. So there was no one there was ever to protect me. When you look back and you think about your childhood, you like to come back and think about some fun memories or fun things that went on. When I look back at my childhood, I remember things as the uncertainty of what's going to happen that day. What mood is he going to be in? Well, what is the punishment I'm going to get for the day? Just always in fear. Like I said, the uncertainty was the hardest, because your imagination would just run away with you, thinking, am I going to get hit today? Am I going to get beat? What type of abuse is he going to use today? So that is, when I look back on my childhood, that is what I remember.
That was fear, terror, scared of the next minute or hour that you didn't know what was going to happen. Sometimes I look forward to going to bed at night. But what I did get comfort from was there was a lady that lived around a block from us that she would have me go to the grocery stores and stuff, and then she'd have me sit there with her for a while and fix like a Coke or tea, and she knew, but not everything. She just knew some of the stuff because of what I kind of told her, little bits and pieces. So she was my comfort zone. She helped me through hard times. She would read the Bible, just different stuff to me.